In a world where the constant barrage of thoughts often disrupts our inner peace, the timeless teachings of Gautama Buddha invite us to undertake a transformative journey to quiet the ceaseless mental chatter. Overthinking, a common struggle in our modern, hectic lives, can impose upon us the heavy burden of stress, anxiety, and a pervasive feeling of being engulfed by our thoughts. However, there is no need for despair, because within the profound wisdom imparted by Buddha, we can discover 10 invaluable strategies to free our minds from the relentless grip of excessive rumination. 1. The art of mindfulness. Understanding mindfulness through imagery. Picture in your mind a serene, gently flowing stream. Its waters move with a calm, steady grace, undisturbed by any obstructions. No fallen branches, leaves, or accumulation of silt hinder its progress. This stream serves as a metaphor for the concept of mindfulness, which is an integral part of Buddhist meditation practices. Mindfulness is the mental state achieved when you direct your attention entirely to the now, the present moment. It is about being acutely aware of what you are sensing and feeling without interpretation or judgment. Practicing mindfulness involves breathing methods, guided imagery, and other practices to relax the body and mind and help reduce stress. When you are mindful, you observe your thoughts and feelings from a distance without labeling them as good or bad. Instead of letting your life pass you by, mindfulness means living in the moment and awakening to your current experience rather than dwelling on the past or anticipating the future. To cultivate a mindful way of being, imagine training your mind to focus as the stream does, uninterrupted and free from the clutter of random, scattered thoughts. This allows you to escape the relentless current of overthinking that can lead to stress and anxiety. By developing the ability to concentrate on the present, you empower yourself to engage more fully with life as it unfolds around you. Number 2. Observe your thoughts. The process of mindful observation involves a conscious effort to pay attention to your thoughts with an air of detachment. It is similar to stepping back from a complex entangled web that represents your usual thought patterns. Imagine each thought as a strand in this web. By observing these strands, you can begin to understand the structure without getting caught in it. The teachings of the Buddha emphasize the importance of looking at our thoughts with a non-judgmental attitude. This means that instead of categorizing thoughts as good or bad or reacting to them emotionally, you simply acknowledge their presence. It is akin to watching clouds pass by in the sky. You see them, but you do not become them. When you practice observing your thoughts in this manner, it's as if you are rising above the maze-like complexities of your mind. From this vantage point, you can see the paths of your thought patterns more clearly. This perspective is incredibly empowering. It allows you to identify and understand the nature of your thoughts without becoming ensnared by them. As a result, you can navigate through your mental processes with greater clarity and ease, freeing yourself from the mental labyrinth that once confined you. Number 3. The middle way. Buddhism is a spiritual tradition that places great emphasis on finding a harmonious balance in all aspects of life, a concept encapsulated in the principle known as the middle way. This philosophy is particularly pertinent when addressing the tendency to overthink, a common challenge that many individuals face. At its core, the middle way is the path of moderation that Buddha advocated as the optimal route to achieving enlightenment and inner peace. It is the golden mean that avoids the extremes of self-indulgence on one hand and self-mortification on the other. When it comes to our mental processes, the middle way suggests a balanced approach to our thoughts and emotions. Let's delve into this concept as it relates to overthinking. Overthinking can be characterized by an excessive, almost obsessive rumination over a single idea or a multitude of thoughts. It often leads to a state of analysis paralysis, where one is so caught up in the intricacies of their thoughts that they are unable to take action. Alternatively, some might try to combat overthinking by forcibly suppressing their thoughts, striving for a blank mind, which can be equally counterproductive and potentially stressful. The middle way teaches us to navigate between these extremes. Rather than clinging tenaciously to a particular thought or series of thoughts, the practice encourages recognition and acknowledgement of the thoughts without becoming ensnared by them. This doesn't mean allowing thoughts to run rampant. Rather, it means observing them with detachment and without judgment. Similarly, the middle way advises against the aggressive suppression of thoughts. Suppression can create an inner resistance, making the thoughts more powerful and pervasive. Instead, Buddhism encourages a gentle release of attachment to these thoughts, promoting a state of mental clarity and calmness. By following the middle way, the Buddha teaches that one can cultivate a state of mental balance. This balance is not static, but dynamic, requiring constant mindfulness and adjustment, much like walking a tightrope. It is in this mental equilibrium that serenity is found. By neither giving into the whirlpool of overthinking nor forcing the mind into an unnatural silence, we can find a peaceful coexistence with our thoughts, leading to a more serene and mindful existence. In practice, this can involve meditation techniques that focus on the breath or body sensations as anchors for the present moment, helping the mind to remain centered and not carried away by thought currents. It can also involve cultivating a mindset of acceptance and compassion towards oneself, recognizing that thoughts are natural and not indicative of failure or weakness. Thus, the middle way offers a compassionate and practical approach to managing overthinking, one that encourages balance, acceptance, and the pursuit of mental tranquility. Number 4. Release your grip on attachments. It is important to understand that holding on too tightly to our desires can cause us distress. In a similar vein, if we cling to our thoughts too persistently, it can lead us into the trap of overthinking. This can be a challenging cycle to break free from. To address this, consider the wisdom offered by the Buddha. One should practice letting go of their attachments. This includes the attachment to thoughts themselves. It is about learning to recognize that our thoughts are fleeting by nature. They come and go, and it is not necessary for them to have a defining impact on who we are. To put this into practice, start by observing your thoughts without judging them. When you notice that you are starting to fixate on a particular thought, gently remind yourself that it is temporary. You don't need to hold on to it or let it control your emotions or actions. By embracing this mindset, you allow yourself to be more present in the moment, free from the weight of past or future concerns. This can lead to a clearer mind and a more balanced state of being. Remember, your thoughts are just thoughts. They don't have to dictate your life. Let them pass like clouds in the sky, and you'll find a sense of peace in the space they leave behind. Number 5. Cultivate compassion. Compassion is a cornerstone of emotional well-being and a fundamental concept in Buddhist teachings, where it is known as karuna. At its core, compassion is the heartfelt wish to reduce and ultimately remove suffering, not just for ourselves, but for all beings. It is an empathetic response that moves beyond mere understanding and into the realm of active intention. When we find ourselves caught in the throes of overthinking, compassion can be an incredibly powerful tool. Overthinking often involves ruminating on worries, fears, and negative scenarios that may never come to pass, leading to a cycle of mental distress. Compassion offers a way out of this cycle by encouraging a gentle acknowledgement of the distress being experienced. This is the first step in cultivating compassion, recognizing the pain without judgment or criticism. Once we have acknowledged this distress, we can then affirm our intention to seek relief. This is an active process that involves directing kindness and care towards ourselves, as though we were our own best friend. Self-compassion is about offering ourselves the same kindness, concern and support we would offer to someone we care about who is suffering. It means telling ourselves things like, "This is really difficult right now, and it's okay to feel upset. Let's find a way through this together." By cultivating self-compassion, we can begin to quiet the critical inner voice that often exacerbates overthinking. This inner critic can be relentless, constantly pointing out our flaws, mistakes and inadequacies, which only serves to heighten our anxiety and overthinking. Self-compassion helps to shift this internal conversation to one that is more nurturing, supportive and kind. Imagine your mind as a turbulent sea where overthinking is like a storm churning the waters. Compassion is the gentle breeze that helps to settle the waves, bring peace to the waters and guide you back to shore. It requires practice, much like any skill, to become adept at responding to one's own suffering with compassion. The more we practice, the more natural it becomes, and the quieter our minds will grow. As we become more compassionate with ourselves, we might find that this attitude naturally extends to others. We begin to recognize the common humanity in our shared experience of suffering and our desire for relief from it. This expanded sense of compassion can foster a greater connection with others as we realize that just like us, they too are doing their best to navigate the challenges of life. By cultivating compassion, we do not just alleviate our own overthinking, but also contribute to a kinder, more empathetic world. It starts within each of us, with a simple intention to be kind to ourselves, and radiates outward, touching the lives of others in ever-widening circles of care and understanding. Number 6. Practice patience. In the profound and expansive teachings of Buddhism, patience is revered as a cornerstone virtue, essential for navigating the ebbs and flows of the human experience. It is the soothing balm to the often self-inflicted wounds of hastiness and agitation. These states of mind are known to fuel the flames of overthinking, creating a cycle of mental unrest that can be challenging to escape. To embrace patience is to commit to a practice of calm endurance and to honor the natural progression of events. It requires an individual to step back and observe the unfolding of life's intricate patterns with acceptance rather than resistance. In the context of our internal landscapes, this means greeting our cascade of thoughts and the swell of emotions with a gentle acknowledgement, permitting them to exist without the pressure to immediately dissect or understand them. This patient approach can significantly diminish the perceived need to solve all of life's puzzles at once. When we relinquish the false urgency that insists we must figure everything out this instant, we offer ourselves the freedom to let our mental processes occur without the added weight of immediate resolution. Thoughts and feelings are given the space to clarify over time, much like the settling of silt in a once turbulent river, allowing for clarity and peace to emerge naturally. By cultivating patience, we effectively slow down our internal clock to match the unrushed tempo of nature. We learn to sit with our overthinking, observing it with compassionate curiosity rather than critical urgency. In doing so, we not only ease our compulsion to overthink, but also create room for insight and wisdom to grow from the fertile ground of a quiet mind. Number 7. Simplify your life. The human mind can become easily ensnared in the trap of overthinking, particularly when faced with a life filled with chaos and complexity. To combat this, it is imperative to steer towards a more simplified existence. This process of simplification isn't merely about having fewer possessions, it's about creating a space that fosters serenity and clarity of thought. Begin by examining your physical environment, the spaces where you spend the majority of your time, such as your home and office. Assess each item you encounter and ask yourself whether it serves a purpose or brings you joy. If it does neither, it may be contributing to the sensory clutter that feeds into your cognitive overload. By methodically decluttering your space, you not only create a more pleasing and organized environment, but also minimize the external triggers that can lead to mental spirals. Beyond the physical, simplifying your life also involves a critical look at how you allocate your time. Scrutinize your daily and weekly routines. Are there tasks that can be streamlined or eliminated? Are you committing to activities that align with your values and goals, or are you succumbing to the pressure of societal expectations? Learning to prioritize your tasks effectively and to decline additional commitments that do not serve your well-being is not an act of selfishness. Rather, it's an exercise in establishing boundaries that protect your mental health. Lastly, it's important to recognize that overcommitment can be a significant source of stress. Saying no is a powerful tool in managing your mental load. When you limit your obligations to only those that are truly important or fulfilling, you allow yourself the time and energy to engage fully with those commitments. This selectivity is key in creating a life that is less hectic and more in tune with your mental peace. By paring down your life to the essentials and embracing a philosophy of less is more, you craft an environment and a lifestyle that act as a bulwark against the tendency to overthink. In the tranquility of a simplified life, your mind can find the space it needs to quiet down and focus on the present moment, allowing for a more mindful and joyful existence. Number 8. Practice meditation. Meditation is a key aspect of Buddhist tradition and a powerful way to combat overthinking. When you meditate, you train your mind to shift its focus away from constant mental chatter and toward a single point of attention. This focus could be the natural flow of your breath, the repetition of a calming mantra, or even visualizing a peaceful and soothing image. During meditation, whenever your mind starts to wander into overthinking, you gently bring it back to this anchor. This intentional redirection helps break the cycle of overthinking, a habit that can often feel uncontrollable. Through regular meditation, you gradually create an inner sense of calm that starts to influence your daily life. Over time, this mental tranquility extends beyond your meditation practice. It's not an instant solution, but a steady process of training your mind. As you become more skilled in meditation, your ability to stay balanced during life's challenges also improves. You learn to observe your thoughts without becoming trapped by them, gaining greater mental clarity and peace. Number 9. Focus on positive thoughts. In Buddhism, a key principle of living a mindful and virtuous life is the practice of right thought. This teaching highlights the importance of being aware of the thoughts that occupy your mind. According to Buddha's teachings, we should consciously guide our minds toward thoughts that benefit both ourselves and those around us. In practical terms, this means choosing to focus on thoughts that promote positivity and well-being, not just for us, but for everyone we interact with. Thoughts of kindness, compassion, generosity, and gratitude are examples of this positive mindset. By intentionally dwelling on such thoughts, we create a mental environment where they can grow and shape our actions and behaviors in uplifting ways. At the same time, we should strive to release thoughts that are harmful, unnecessary, or unproductive, such as anger, envy, resentment, and worry. By consciously identifying and letting go of negative thought patterns, we free up mental space that would otherwise be consumed by overthinking or dwelling on stressful, unproductive matters. Focusing on helpful thoughts is a deliberate effort to shape our inner world in ways that nurture peace, compassion, and well-being. It's about understanding the power of our thoughts and choosing to nurture those that lead to a more positive and meaningful life, not just for ourselves, but also for those influenced by our actions and mindset. This practice reflects the core Buddhist principles of mindfulness and compassion and serves as a powerful guide for anyone seeking a harmonious and fulfilling existence. Number 10. Embrace impermanence. In Buddhism, the concept of anicca, or impermanence, is a fundamental teaching. It reminds us that everything in existence is constantly changing. When it comes to overthinking, understanding impermanence can be a transformative tool. It helps us see that even the habit of overthinking is not a permanent part of our lives. It, too, will pass. Just as the seasons change, our mental states are also in constant flux. Embracing impermanence helps us cultivate a deep sense of peace and acceptance in life. It encourages us to let go of the constant need for control and the quest for absolute certainty in a world that is ever-changing. Overthinking may take hold at times, but understanding that it, too, is temporary can bring comfort. It reminds us that even our most intense thoughts and emotions will eventually fade, allowing us to face them with detachment and balance. The timeless teachings of Gautama Buddha provide invaluable guidance for freeing our minds from the persistent cycle of overthinking. These teachings highlight the power of mindfulness, the practice of observing our thoughts without judgment, and the importance of finding the middle way, maintaining balance in our mental processes without falling into extremes. Releasing attachments, cultivating compassion, practicing patience, simplifying our lives, meditating, focusing on positive thoughts, and embracing impermanence are all essential steps toward a calmer, more mindful existence. Buddha's wisdom offers a path to navigate the stormy seas of our thoughts and emotions, guiding us toward the tranquil waters of mindfulness. By incorporating these teachings into our daily lives, we can free ourselves from the grip of overthinking, reduce stress and anxiety, and foster a sense of inner peace. As we embark on this journey of transformation, we not only find peace within ourselves, but also help create a more compassionate and understanding world, one thought at a time.